I think I'm going to make a video series or video playlist, I should say, on YouTube of just tricks and tips and things that I do every day as a salesperson in the automotive industry in hopes to help you guys out there who are also in the industry selling cars. So in today's video, we're going to talk about little tips and tricks that I do before I go on a test drive with a customer. Okay, so you have a customer in the showroom, you know what car they want to look at and take a ride in. We're going to use this Blazer as an example, right? So you're going to pull the vehicle up front, you're going to do a demonstration, and you're going to hit the road. When I walk up to the car, first thing I do is I take my screwdriver and I screw my license plate on the back. It only takes one screw to hold it on, and it's important because one, we're securely fastened to the vehicle. Secondly, and this is for everybody out there, including a lot of you women out there that are selling, you have a weapon in the car with you. Now, I've been doing this 15 years. I've never had anything close to an instance where I felt I needed a screwdriver in the car, but you having this in your hand in the car in case something was to go south could help you out. Also, if somebody was to try to do something and you had this in your hand, they may just think twice and not even do it. So go out and buy yourself a screwdriver. You can buy them at Home Depot, Lowe's for like $3. So the next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna hop in the car, you're gonna start it up. Now, today it's like 100 degrees outside. So you're gonna wanna make sure you turn on your climate control as high as you can. All right, we're gonna hear the fan speed really kick up right now. You wanna cool the vehicle off. In the winter, you're gonna wanna heat it up. You wanna make it comfortable for not only your customer, but for yourself as well, okay? So get your climate acclimated to a nice comfortable temperature. The next thing you're gonna do is look and see if you have fuel in the car. Right now, we're on low fuel, right? So on most cars, you have driver information centers or little buttons where you can hit and it'll tell you exactly how far you can drive on what fuel is left. Because this says low, I know that we have less than 20 or 30 miles to drive. So I'm gonna take this over. We have fuel cans here at the dealership that we keep full, 5-gallon cans. I'm gonna put a gallon or a gallon and a half of gas in the car. You don't wanna be the guy or gal on a test drive that gets stranded running out of fuel. It only happened to me once in 15 years and we didn't get stranded. Luckily, we were coming down the road here, ran out of gas at the top of the hill and were able to roll into the parking lot, you know, with no fuel in the car. Make sure you have gas in the car before you go. The next thing you're gonna do is probably just to really get attention to detail, but what I do is I put the steering wheel and the seat in sort of a neutral position. Okay, so most cars have tilting telescopic wheels. So I make sure that this is centered. So when a customer gets in, if they want to make an adjustment, the wheel will go up, down, forward, or back because it's in a middle location. I do the same thing with the seat. I keep the seat in a position that when you touch that lever, you can go forward, back, up, or down. You don't want to be all the way down, all the way up. You want that customer to be able to make an adjustment that's good for them and feel that, okay, the wheel is going to move up for me, it is going to move down for me, it's going to be comfortable. The next thing is the radio. You want to make sure it's set to a neutral station at a very minimal volume. You don't want a customer to go and press the volume of the radio and get completely jostled because there's some crazy song on it and you can't hear what you're trying to say. So you pick a neutral station, something that's gonna have just generic everyday type music. Keep it to a volume that's relatively low, just enough to hear it. This way it doesn't blow anybody's eardrums out or catch anybody by surprise or have any kind of explicit language or anything like that in case there's children in the car. The last thing I'm gonna do before I pull the vehicle up, I'm gonna hit my washer fluid and just make sure the windshield is nice and clean. You don't want your customer driving a car with a full dirty windshield, so clean it off as you're driving the vehicle up to them. So what do you think? Does that sound easy enough? A couple quick tips. What did we learn today? We're gonna screw the license plate on with a screwdriver. This way we have a screwdriver with us in the car. Hopefully you never need it. If you need it, you stab someone in the throat, you jump out of the car, you run away. Don't worry about the car, worry about your life. Then we're gonna get in the vehicle. We're gonna make sure the temperature is comfortable. We're gonna make sure there's fuel in the car. We're gonna put the steering wheel and the seat in sort of neutral positions where no matter how a customer wants to adjust it up, down, forward, or back, they can. We're gonna get the radio to a normal type station at a very minimal but adequate volume. We're gonna hit the windshield with the spray, make sure it's nice and clean, and that's pretty much it. Now, I do recommend guys having a planned route. Going the same route every time. I'm lucky in my area, we have a nice route. It's got some bumps, it's got some turns, it's got some places you can practice parking, it's got a little bit of highway, you can get to 50 miles an hour, and the whole thing takes about 5 or 6 miles, so it's not that bad. Have a planned route, stick to that same route every time. Now, when you're going on a test drive, if it's just the customer that's driving the car, obviously you're gonna sit in the front seat, they're gonna be in the driver's seat. Always buckle your seatbelt. Always make sure your customers buckle their seatbelts. If you're bringing kids in the car, make sure they're in boosters or car seats or whatever they need to be in to be legal. Don't get caught up, with a police officer and having kids in the back floating around in the back seat, not in car seats or anything like that. Most parents won't do that anyway, so it's probably nothing to worry about. Now, if you're with a couple, husband and wife, whoever, let them both sit up front. I prefer to sit in the back seat on test drives, you're going to do minimal talking. You know, now, mind you, before you test drive the car, you already kind of did a demo of the whole vehicle to show features and benefits and all that sort of stuff. So on the drive, you're going to give your customers the left turns, the right turns, every which way they have to go. And then what you're also going to do is you're just going to give them little pieces of information as they're driving, but you want to make sure you remain a little quiet. When you're in the back seat, it's amazing how much the customers will tell you just by talking. You know, you're going to get to know whether they like the car, don't like the car as they start driving, and just react to the car and the vehicle. You know, every now and then you can ask a little question to see, you know, how they're doing, or show them how a feature works, like a safety feature, or, you know, something like that. But for the most part, keep your conversation down. You know, unless the customer's asking you questions, make sure the test drive is the time for them to really feel and enjoy the vehicle. Another thing to know when you're driving with a couple, make sure you ask if the person wants to switch. Let the passenger drive. You know, it's a little meaningful for them. It'll give them the chance to either give you a yes or a no. Most times people say no and they don't switch. If they do want to switch, make sure you have a safe spot on your planned test drive route where you can pull over and they can do so. For us, we're lucky we have a big mall not that far away. We can pull into the parking lot and we can do that. But it'll give both people the opportunity to drive the vehicle and make sure they both like it. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's some tips just for going on a test drive. Hopefully, maybe it gave you something. You picked some insight out of this video. When you get back to the dealership after your test drive, do not forget to take the license plate off the car and bring it back in. And if you like this video, if it gave you any kind of help, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below. You want to see anything else or any end of the business, any kind of information, just put it there. And I'm going to try to really crank out a bunch of these videos to just, again, show you what I do every day in my auto sales career. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there.